Tuesday, December 8th, involves adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe nouns. Don't get them mixed up with adverbs, which are also descriptive words, but adverbs describe other adverbs, adjectives, and verbs. So adjectives describe nouns only. The Bellringer this week, there weren't enough to go through Friday, so I simply ended it with Thursday. So Tuesday we're going to do 1 through 3, Wednesday 4 through 6, and Thursday 7, and we added an extra one, 7 through 10. And what we're doing is writing the regular positive form. Well, it's actually there for you. So on the line, we are writing the comparative form and the superlative form. And it does give you a box of examples to help you. Number 1, cold. If you're comparing two things, you would say one is colder than the other. You simply add an ER. And if you're comparing more than two things, or one is of top value, you would say it is coldest. You add an EST. Tall, also an easy one. So some of these are easy. You don't have to change the word's endings. But as we continue with these, sometimes you have to change the word's endings, or you have to add something at the beginning of the word. And number 3, bright. Bright is also an easy one. Bright, brighter, ER, and brightest. Number 9. I'd like for you to think of these Bellringers as grade boosters. You're given the answers. They're rather easy assignments. So it should be a way to keep your grade afloat if you have another grade that brings it down a little bit. Okay, graceful. You wouldn't say gracefuler or gracefulest. The way you make graceful comparative is more graceful and most graceful. Or if you were to say it in the opposite direction, you would say less graceful or least graceful. To keep it simple here, I'm going to simply write the one that is going in the upward direction. I'm going to write more. And you know something, I'm running out of room here. So to help myself out with that, I'm going to go ahead and take away these other ones from Tuesday. Okay. So more graceful and most. Young. For young, it's just younger. And youngest. Heavy. Heavy ends in a Y. I see this often when I'm grading your writing. And once again, in order to see my answer, I'm going to erase the ones from above. Hopefully you got those already. Heavy, you change the Y to I and add ER, or E-S-T. So it's going to be heavier and heaviest. Ninth. And we're on number 7, 8, 9, and 10. Polite. It is not politer. It's more polite, or less polite and least polite. But we're going to go ahead and do more and most rather than less and least for our answers. And since polite doesn't change, it's okay if you just write more and most on your line. Number 8, courteous. It's not courteouser. It's not courteousest. So it's more courteous or less courteous and least courteous, or most courteous. So once again on your line, go ahead and put more and most for your answer. Narrow. This one's a complicated one, okay, because it can actually use both. There are a few definitions. I'm going to go over here to show you. Narrow, comparative can be narrower or more narrow, and superlative can be narrowest, but it can also be most narrow. Simple is another one that can be used either way. It can be simpler or more simple. It could also be simplest or most simple. And quiet is another one that can be used either way. It can be quieter, or you can say more quiet, and you can say quietest, or you can say most quiet. So for those 3 adjectives, narrow, simple, and quiet, you can use either one. So this one, you can use either one for your answer. I like more and most better. I feel like it sounds more appropriate, probably because of it being the 2 syllables and it doesn't end with the E sound. But it's up to you. If you want to write narrower and narrowest, grammatically, it's okay. And number 10, tasty. It ends in a Y, so change the Y to I and add ER for the comparative. Tastier. And for the superlative, tastiest. And this finishes your Bellringers for this week.